I've added a lot to my GameCube collection in the last 6 months. Let's talk about it. Folks, it has been a while since I've done a GameCube collection update video, so we're going to end the year of 2024 with a massive GameCube collection update. I'm going to show you almost everything that I picked up since the last GameCube collection update. So this is going to be a little over 6 months worth of GameCube pickups. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to go over where I'm at on the final numbers for the collection at the end of 2024 and what the goal and plan is for 2025. But let's jump right into the pickups. All right, so as you guys know, I've started to do a lot of video game store tours, retro video game store tours, and earlier in the year I went to a store called Play to Win Games, but I picked up 3 GameCube games from that store, 2 for the US collection, and then I got 1 Japanese GameCube game. So I managed to snag Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, Batten Kaitos Origins, and a Japanese game, Battle Stadium DOM. Next up, another retro game store called Play and Trade that I also did a store tour, link in the description. I managed to snag 3 awesome GameCube games for a great price from that store, and those games are Space Raiders, R Racing Evolution, and King Arthur. Next up, one of my favorite retro game stores, my local retro game store, as a matter of fact, the Game Shack in Dunlap, Tennessee. I filmed multiple videos there. Randy, the owner, actually managed to have 1 GameCube game I needed for the collection, which is rare because I bought from his store, pretty much bought out everything I needed for the collection. So I managed to snag a copy of Pac-Man World 3. A good friend of mine named Nick, if you're watching, shout out to you, brother. I managed to snag a GameCube game I needed for the collection from him, and that GameCube game is The Fairly Odd Parents Breaking the Rules. So earlier this year, I went to a couple of epic toy shows in and around Columbus, Tennessee. One of them was called the Columbus Toy and Game Show, and the other one was called the Great Ohio Toy Show. Did videos at each one of those. Now, the goal at these toy shows was obviously to look for toys and collectibles, but at the same time, I kept an eye out for GameCube games, and I managed to snag 2 that I needed at these toy shows, and those 2 games are Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure and Killer 7. Earlier this year, I went and visited my good friend Marcello from GameCube Galaxy. Me and him went hunting to a lot of different places, and I got a pretty good stack of GameCube games. So we went to a flea market called Renninger's Flea Market. We went to a game store called Ready Set Games, another game store, 2 locations called Galaxy Games, and then we went to a game store called Gamer's Hut. And I got a pretty good stack of GameCube games. Let me show you those right now. So we got Hulk Ultimate Destruction, Eggmania Extreme Madness, Roadkill, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Lockdown, Gauntlet Dark Legacy, Metabots Infinity, the Disney Skateboarding, and Pokemon Channel. Now, these next 3 games I managed to snag from CCS, Charlie's Collectible Show, which you guys just recently got to see, I believe last week as of this video going live, and I've got another video coming in the near future at CCS, so stay tuned for that. But those 3 games that I snagged are The Simpsons Hit and Run, Bloody Roar Primal Fury, and Batten Kaitos. All right, now this next stack of pickups, this is the biggest haul of GameCube games I've ever gotten in one place, I think, or at least in the last couple of years, and it was at Game Jam South this past year. I vended there, but I also did a lot of hunting, and I got a massive stack of GameCube games from that convention. There were just GameCube games all over the place. Let me show you what I snagged from Game Jam South. Beyond Good and Evil, Simpsons Road Rage, Chaos Field, One Piece Grand Battle, Rayman 3, Chibi Robo, that's a heavy hitter, Casper Spirit Dimension, Lotus Challenge, iNinja, another heavy hitter, Ultimate Muscle, Hello Kitty Roller Rescue, Def Jam Vendetta, MLB Slugfest 2004, Dr. Muto, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Powerpuff Girls, Skeller, Dragon's Lair 3D, Mystic Heroes, and I snagged a couple of Japanese GameCube games, being Super Smash Bros. And Batten Kaitos, and this one is really cool because it's 2 discs, each in their own case, and a overall slipcover. In addition to the giant stack of games I got at Game Jam South, I also got 3 GameCube oddities, all of which are extremely rare, and they're really cool. So let me show you those. First off, we have these Mario Party 5 plush dice with a little string where you can like hang them. Really cool item. These are extremely rare. Next up is this Mario Kart Double Dash stopwatch, and I still have the original box and instruction manual that goes with it, and it still has the battery pull tab in it, so it's literally brand new and never been used. And lastly is this Nintendo GameCube calculator also have the original box and instructions. It is pretty much brand new as well. Now for this GameCube set, I have tried to get as many games in person out in the wild and on camera as possible, but there have been a few that I've gotten online, and this next game is one of those. I actually got on the buying and selling app Goodiez, which sponsors the channel, as you guys know. They're an awesome app that's growing and adding more and more cool new features, but that game is Dinotopia. And speaking of Goodiez, let me tell you about this. What's up, everybody? I want to take a quick moment to tell you about a really cool new feature on the Goodiez app that makes it really easy to find cheap games that are better than market value. And for those of you who don't know, Goodiez is an awesome buying and selling marketplace for video games with features that you can't find on other marketplaces. All right, once you download the Goodiez app and create an account, all you got to do is open up the app. On the home page, you want to click in the search bar. Make sure you're under market. Click filter. So I'm going to check out PlayStation 5 games. So manufacturer, PlayStation, console, PlayStation 5. I want to look at brand new only games, and then I'm going to click sort by lowest ask and badge lowest ask. So what that's going to do is that's going to sort the PlayStation 5 games that are brand new by the lowest prices that are also below market value. So as you can see, just kind of scrolling through here, you'll see the lowest ask, and that is the lowest price you can find that game for, and then under that you will see the market value, which is based off of current price charting data. So here's a great example of that. You can get a brand new copy of 3D Billiards for 15 bucks, where it's usually around 20 bucks per price charting. So there you go, folks. It is super easy to find awesome deals on the Goodiez app by using this new sorting feature. So be sure and download the Goodiez app. It's free to download, free to create an account. Check it out and find you some awesome games for some great prices. So this next stack of games I actually got from Secret Castle Toys and Games. You guys know them, I'm sure, very well, because they have a massive social media presence on both YouTube and TikTok. Went there to film a store tour, had a great time, and I managed to snag 5 games I needed for the collection, and those games are Bad Boys Miami Takedown, City Racer, Virtua Quest, NBA Street Volume 3, and Spawn Armageddon. Alright, this next stack was another sizable stack of games that was a convention haul, and it was actually picked up at CorgsCon in Columbus, Ohio, which is an awesome convention that I've gone to, I think, 3 years now? 4 years? 3 or 4 years. It's an awesome convention. I go every year, and I got a nice stack of GameCube games, and those games are Batman Dark Tomorrow, Blood Omen 2, Wallace and Gromit Project Zoo, One Piece Pirates Carnival, Terminator 3 Redemption, True Crime New York City, Top Angler, The Sims 2, and Serious Sam Next Encounter. But I didn't walk out of there with just games. I actually managed to snag a couple of GameCube oddities for the oddities collection. This really cool, beautiful 25-piece Super Mario Sunshine puzzle, and then this 100-piece Mario Power Tennis puzzle in the box, and it's actually a 3D puzzle, which is really neat. Alright, this next stack of games is another large haul of GameCube games that I actually got from one of my favorite video game conventions of all time, and that is Southeast Game Exchange. It was its biggest year this year. It was absolutely massive. GameCube games everywhere. And I got a pretty nice stack, and let me show you what I got. Extreme G Racing Association, Alien Hominid, Darkened Sky, Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2, Evolution Snowboarding, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 3, Trans World Surfwave, Red Card 2003, NFL Blitz Pro, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, and Capcom vs. SNK 2. And I also snagged one Japanese GameCube game, and that game is Naruto Path of Ninja 3. But that's not all I got from Southeast Game Exchange. I also got one of the coolest GameCube collectibles that I've found in a long time, sealed in the packaging. And this is something that I may not ever run across again, sealed in the packaging. And let me show you this, and it's super cool, so get ready. These Nintendo GameCube AM/FM cassette player with headphones and speakers. Officially licensed product. How freaking cool is that? This is one of my favorite finds that I've gotten in quite a while. So earlier this year, I went to Little Rock, Arkansas to go to Arkansas Pickers Convention, Arkansas Retro Expo, which is going to be happening again in 2025 on May 17th, and I will be there. But while I was in town, I hit up Retro Rick's store, snagged a couple of games there that I needed for the collection, and those two games are The Italian Job, and Piglet's Big Movie Game. And then at Picker's Convention, I managed to snag 2 games that I needed, one of which is a heavy hitter, and those 2 games are Hitman 2 Silent Assassin, and the heavy hitter is the Animaniacs' The Great Edgar Hunt. We also went to Southern Fried Gaming Expo in 2024. Filmed a quick video there if you want to check that out. It is in the description, but I managed to snag at least 1 game I needed for the collection, and that is NFL Street 2. At Game Central Station this year in 2024, I managed to knock out 2, not 1 but 2, of the most expensive GameCube games, and I pretty much got them both pretty much no money out of pocket. One was through a trade, and then the other was through the McKay's Challenge. And if you haven't seen the McKay's Challenge video, literally one of my favorite videos we've ever made in the history of the channel. If you guys haven't watched it, please go watch it because it didn't get enough views and I want people to experience it. I managed to snag 3 GameCube games and a Japanese GameCube game, and those games are Digimon World 4, the first heavy hitter, Gotcha Force. And the second heavy hitter that I got as a result of the McKay's Challenge is Cubivore, Survival of the Fittest. And the Japanese game is Eternal Darkness. Next up is an off-camera purchase. I went back to Greenville, South Carolina to hang out with my good friend Andy, also known as Pac-Man Case on YouTube, link down below. And Andy had a game in his collection that I needed for my collection, and he was willing to sell it to me. And he sold it to me for a great price, so thank you, Andy. Really appreciate it, brother. And that game is Kirby Air Ride. Okay, so one of the last conventions I went to in 2024 was Retro Rick's very first convention, Retro Fest Arkansas. Let me tell you guys, it was amazing. One of my favorite conventions of the year. Rick did a phenomenal job. Now, the funny thing is, even though it was this massive convention with tons of vendors, I didn't buy a single GameCube game I needed from the collection, from that convention, but I did buy some GameCube oddities that are really cool. So let me show you guys what I got. So first off, I snagged this really freaking awesome stainless steel Nintendo GameCube tumbler, and it is brand new. I've got the original box, the wrapper that it came in. It's got the instructions on the inside. It's never been used. Now the cool thing about this is this was not a retail item. You couldn't walk in the store and buy this. This was only given to Nintendo of America employees as a promo gift. So this thing is stupidly rare. I got it for a really good price. So that's an awesome addition to the GameCube Oddities collection. Also snagged a bobblehead, and I have the original box for it as well. I just like to display these out of the box, but this I consider to be a GameCube oddity because it was released in, I believe this bobblehead came out in 2003, which was the GameCube era, and Luigi was in several GameCube games. So really nice bobblehead there, and there were 4 in the set, so now I need to try to get all 4. One of my favorite pickups was from my good friend Chief, OK Chief 420 on YouTube. If you haven't checked him out, he is an OG. And I got this sealed GameStop exclusive Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker sports watch, and this thing is super freaking cool, and I had never seen it before that convention, didn't even know it existed. And lastly, I snagged my very first vintage t-shirt of all time, and of course I had to get a GameCube era vintage t-shirt. So I managed to snag this awesome Super Mario Sunshine vintage shirt, red. It's actually in pretty good condition, and from what I understand, this shirt was a promo item that came out actually before the game, so it's a pretty rare shirt, pretty expensive. I'm afraid to wear it because I don't want to damage it. I want to keep it in good condition, but maybe I'll wear it at some point. Now, the final convention that I went to in 2024, one of my favorites, is Really Rad Weekend right on the beach in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and I shot 2 videos there. I believe those are coming out in January if they're not already out. I can't remember at the moment, but I managed to snag a heavy hitter using profits from vending at the convention, and that heavy hitter is Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. But wait, there's more. I managed to snag what is probably the final bobblehead I needed for the GameCube bobblehead collection, and it also just happens to be one of the rarest and most expensive bobbleheads in that set, and that bobblehead is the Metroid Prime Samus bobblehead with the Nintendo GameCube logo on the base. Look at how beautiful this bobblehead is. This is an amazing bobblehead. Now, 2 more miscellaneous items. These were purchased off camera. This next one is another bobblehead for the GameCube era bobblehead set, and I actually picked this one up on eBay. This Tech bobblehead, which I bet a lot of you guys didn't even know this guy existed. And lastly, this is a pretty cool thing, really obscure, really random, but I consider it a GameCube era oddity collectible. So these are 5 trading cards from the Peter Jackson's King Kong game that came out on the GameCube, and I believe it came out on PS2 and Xbox as well. And it features creatures from the video game, 5 different creatures from the video game on 5 different cards. And then on the back of the cards, it gives you information about the creatures. The moment you've all been waiting for. Let me tell you what the final numbers are that we're ending 2024 with and they're really freaking good. So I am up to 529 complete in box black label retail release GameCube games, leaving me with 22 left to hit that set I'm going for of 551 games. The total price charting, rough price charting value of the games I have so far is around $14,997. I have spent to date since January 2022 $6,245 on the set that I've acquired so far. So I've spent around 41.6% of market retail value, which is super good. So far, because at the beginning of this, I said I wanted to try to get the whole set at under 50% market value, money out of my own pocket. And so far, I am well under that number. So I think we're going to achieve that goal. So that is a savings of about $8,752. Now, here's the kicker. The 22 games that I have left is a price charting value of around $3,684. And a third of that is Disney Sports Basketball, which is the most expensive GameCube game, retail release GameCube game currently. And it's like probably around 12 to 14 $100 complete in good condition. So my goal is to get my final 22 GameCube games before the end of 2025. That is my goal. And I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be able to make that happen. Now, Disney Sports Basketball is going to be the hardest one to get. So I've got a plan to get that game, no money out of pocket. And then I'm going to turn it into an epic video. If I can pull it off, it's going to be pretty freaking awesome. So that is it. 2024 has come to a close. I hope you all had an awesome Christmas. Hope you have an amazing New Year's. And I hope 2025 is a year to look forward to for you all. I think it's going to be a really good year. And I hope to be able to show you guys some really cool content throughout the course of 2025. Finish the GameCube collection and really dig in on that PS2 collection that I've started.